Hey everybody. Um, I got this bright brainy idea to Naya, I'm doing a Facebook Live, honey. I got this bright brainy idea to make fixed candles with the roots throughout. Why? Because I think it was my mamba who pointed out to me that when you're working a candle, that means you're working a candle. So, I think it's okay if you have a candle that just has roots on top. That's the Botanica style. That's how they fix candles for you everywhere. So we've been working for several months to figure out how to, put some of the roots throughout the candle. And we started off with a very reasonable price for these candles. But what I'm realizing is I couldn't understand why the competition was charging $30, $40 a candle. Until I actually started pouring candles into glass and making other types of candles. This is not easy. If y'all know good candle makers out here, kiss their feet, because this is not easy. So I kind of wanted to take you all into the Big Liz lab tonight, show you what we're working on. A couple of things I'm going to do on the website. The price of these candles, that was a nice introductory price. People lost their minds and ordered a shit ton of fixed candles. I'm going to turn around and show you what some of the finished ones are, and then I'm looking here. Oh, that's tape. Okay. There's all types of contingencies when you're pouring your own candles. And that's one of the reasons why we didn't do the wax melt yet, because you want to get that fragrance load right. And that's math. I got an interesting email from one of my suppliers the other day talking about the fragrance load for candles. Now, the fixed candles that I'm about to show you, we don't advertise those as fragranced. And it's so funny because when we introduce new products like the poured soaps, people are like, are you doing hand poured or cold press? Well, number one, cold press has lye in it. And y'all don't seem to understand that requires a significant amount of ventilation. And I am in a house with children and pets. So no, we're doing melt and pour soap. I like glycerin soap. Why? Because it's moisturizing my skin and I have dry skin. So that's what we based our soaps on. So, what you're paying for is the spiritual properties of said soap. So, for example, I'm going to turn the camera around. If I can figure out, they're going to change the interface. And so here you are, you're looking at Waymaker, still trying to work with various ways to make sure that all the roots don't float to the top and they get through, and we're stirring, but after a while you have to stop stirring or you're going to mess up the niceness of the bar, But what I found is the roots stay in as some of them come out, but the roots stay in as you are working. And we've tried everything. We've tried like one of these little mixers, these hand mixers. Let me show y'all. This is my drawer of fantasy and fun. And we tried one of these things here. And that would just send your soap flying right out of the container if you're mixing it in those little melting things. There are other things that I'd love to try. Like, for example, my goal is to make pillar standalone candles, right? But finding the right type of wax for pillar candles, I have a candle mold in here that I plan to use for an Nzili Freda line. I've spent hundreds of dollars on different molds. I don't really care for these, but and then tea lights. We haven't even gotten a chance to list the tea lights yet. But yet I'm still answering dumbass questions via phone. But this is what a fixed poured candle that I made looks like. The fun part of this is this is purple, trying to get these dye lots to look right. And we do put a safety label on the top of every single one of these, but understand that this safety label does not correspond with magical use. But by law, we should be putting these on candles. So this particular candle, although you cannot see it, and this is what I love, is paraffin. You see those bubbles and that air in there? Those are paraffin. But if you look closely, you'll see places where there are roots in there. Now, you also have to have, and then, your beautiful handmade labels. I'm going through a label redesign as well. What you got to understand about these are, you don't want to put too many herbs and roots in a candle. You all saw what our research and development was for the votives. You put too many herbs in this bad fella, it's going to blow, okay? So here's what we do. I'll take you in the kitchen for just a second, because, I work out on my home. I am an old school, old-fashioned root worker, but we're actually going to start a candle station downstairs in the lower level family room. So this is what we got to do. We got to And we're also moving to different types of wax. We got to literally take a circular saw, cut up like 50 pounds worth of wax. Then we got to go over here, melt it down, okay? Then we come over here to Candle Station, say hey.
Hi.
And we add colors. We make sure, now this is another thing when you're going to order, and I want y'all to understand why these candles, somebody's surly. She hollering. Why these candles are more money than, say, if you ordered a Botanica style candle. Because we got to pour them first. And then we will immerse the herbs in here, but you don't want too many. They also should be a little bit finely ground. So this particular one, I don't know why. Oh, this is burnt no more. I was about to say.
No, that's in the black.
That's in the black gold. That's black power, right? So that's purple. And but what happens is not only do you have to pour them once, and then as they pour, to keep the stuff from going all the way to the bottom, you got to put some roots in here. Now they will also be fixed in the top, just like a botanical candle. But so after you pour it, you get this. So what we have to do is blow dry with the heat gun this down into this debit to fill up the candle, and then possibly pour and dye more wax. But we've dropped roots in throughout. So when you get this candle, you may not see them, but they're in there. And because of the opaqueness of the wax. So this is the last layer of herbs that I put into this candle. But there are herbs running all through this candle that we put in. And then at the top, when the candle is ready, we're going to put some holes in it. And we're going to dress it again. And then we're going to put a label on it, clean it up, and send it out to you. That is what it takes to make a hand poured candle. So what I'm going to do, especially because we had so many, okay? It says, do you want to tag Jay Walker? My sister is on. Hey, sister. I guess she's on. I don't know if she's on here or not. That's my sister, who's an amazing hairstylist and makeup artist. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Y'all don't seem to understand. It's like we haven't even gotten to the molds. And I like those molds, but those molds are huge. So you would probably be giving the equivalent of wax of a 7th-day candle in some of those molds. We haven't even got a chance to play with them yet. That's how busy we are, and I'm blessed and I'm happy about that. But y'all have to know when the price goes up on these, what type of work it takes, okay? Some suggestions I'm going to give you guys as root workers, because you know I like to come on here and give y'all a little education as well as witches. That's why we sell the witch boxes, because I can't tell you how many people have to do spell work, but they need to do it in a hurry. Let me give you a few things. I try not to sell on my website too many items you can get in the grocery store. But if you got to do some last minute work, you better get to the spice section of a Mexican grocery store, okay? That's the first thing you want to do. Let me close this door because it's a little loud in the family room, as it should be, because that's where family is. So you got to understand that this is not, none of this is a quick process. So for example, lemongrass. In my efforts to hurry up and get lemongrass hand dried, because we buy it by the stalk, we cut it. We put it in a food dehydrator. And you want to know why? Why I just don't order lemongrass from my vendors is because it looks dead by the time it gets here. It doesn't look, and it looks dyed. Real on the stalk lemongrass is not dark green. Okay? So when I was trying to hurry up and, get orders processed, and I put it in the dehydrator, it takes about 10 hours. Kia, get that lemongrass out the oven. Because I had to put it back in after being in the food dehydrator for about 9 or 10 hours. I had to put it back in the oven because it was not dry enough for me. And we had a situation where ours molded, and the stuff that I thought was dry went to a customer and it got mold. So I got like 6 stalks of lemongrass that I am cutting up. We're also going to work on propagating them in our greenhouse in our basement to see if we can grow our own. So y'all have to understand that this is not Walmart. This is not even, some of the bigger, I'm not going to name people by name, that make their stuff with machines. Everything we get, we've either sourced from the very best herb dealers, or we're doing or growing ourselves, cutting ourselves, drying ourselves, something. And every label is printed and cut here. I don't outsource anything. And the reason why, and I don't think that I'll ever go to a situation where I'll be doing this as out of a manufacturing plant. That's not what this work is about. But what you got to understand, that's why it's 5 to 10 business days. That's fast for a lot of the people who do this. I know somebody, it took them 6 weeks to get a candle from one of my competitors. These products are made as they're ordered because they need to be fresh, and they're made just for you. You know, sometimes when I've had a reading with somebody and they order something, I might put a little something extra in the work that I know that they need to help them. You know, so this is not like, I don't know, any other company maybe that you work with before, you know, but we also are try to be state of the art. You know, I put up a long post about researching. We have spent hundreds, literally hundreds of hours. Every single urban root we have on the website, we give you its planetary alignment. We give you its masculine or feminine energy. We give you its element. And so that stuff should be guiding your work. You know, I think that commercial and, you know, instantaneous hoodoo from some manufacturers has people thinking that those things don't matter. You know, I've literally heard that it don't matter when you do hoodoo. Since when? And then they want to classify hoodoo as low magic. People who have been hoodooists work with the cycles of the moon. That's one of the reasons why I haven't put up zodiac oils. You got to time stuff to the day of the week. And then in the case of bath bombs and in the case of candles and stuff, we're pouring these right now today because we got to get these orders out because we were at Daughters of the Moon. But that's something we do on the weekends only. Soaps, candles, bath bombs, that's not something that you can just sit up and get made. That's some time-consuming stuff. And rather than discontinuing products that customers actually like, I'd rather take the time to do the work properly. And so for me to be answering phone calls about where's my package when you were sent an automated email with a tracking number and you don't put your order number in the email, you know, of course I have to call you then. And then, of course, you're going to kind of feel dumb because I'm asking you why you didn't look on the website. But if you gave me the order number, I could just reply and say, hey, here's tracking number. It's out for delivery. So y'all have to, I think for too long, for whatever reason in this commercial space, and I never wanted a website. I'm looking forward to having my own store one day. Okay. But I never wanted, it's so funny, I just got a payment for Hoodoo 201. Today is the last day to register for the virtual 201. Okay? And I think that there's just this misconception that this stuff doesn't take time. And then when you get it, you also think that there's going to be instantaneous results. It's called root work for a reason. It's work. I love this work. I wish this was the only job I had, but I have another job. I actually do love my other job. And so I have to balance that. And that's why we give you the 5 to 10 shipping days. So somebody was like, it's not anywhere on your printout when you receive your email. Okay. So what I did was in the processing status, it says 5 to 10 business days to ship. I added that. Looks dumb, but that's the only place I could add it. We also work within the constructs of our e-commerce system. They let me put that information in terms and conditions on my website, which is really important for when people want to file bogus PayPal claims. You know, one of the reasons why mystics and psychics and people who do magical work can't get regular credit card processors a lot is because of the constant chargebacks. And most of those chargebacks are not due to fraud. They're due to people who are impatient. You're never, ever, 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 unless you order like 1 or 2 oils, going to get a package shipped out from here in 2 days. And yeah, if you're part of my customer group, Big Liz Conjure, it's a closed group. Yeah, Athena, you make candles. Girl, I got these molds, but yeah, I'm going to have to talk to you about, definitely going to need some more devil heads, because this takes time. You guys think, and I did too. Let me tell you, baby, I really thought, oh, get some candle wax, get some dye, put it in a jar, send it out. So the price on hand-poured fixed candles is going up tonight. And it's the theory. People are like, well, then people aren't going to buy it. I would rather have one $100 client than 10 $10 clients. So, if you are going to, the Botanica candles, we're going to keep offering them. As you can see, I spent a lot of money to get these candles restocked. And that's the cost of doing business. I actually kind of thought that the hand-poured candles would cause us not to have those shipping costs and have us not, yeah. I mean, yes, thank you, Auntie Angel. I try to learn fast. I really do. But this has been a bitch, y'all. And I'm not going to send it out to you if it's garbage. I'm going to tell you what I did the other day. Fucking around. I'm a real stickler. If you ever buy a candle from me or anybody else, a fixed candle, you want to make sure that wick is dead ass center. And we talk about this in my Candle Magic class, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow night. Why? Because if you got somebody who is not paying attention to what they're doing and your wick is off to one side of your glass, guess what's going to happen to your candle? Your candle is going to burn on that side of the glass, give you a fake soot reading, and possibly explode. You don't want an exploding candle if you are doing magic. So it's very important. Yeah, that wicked. See, Faye knows. Let me tell you, my students pour candles when they come here. We was trying everything because I was like the first weekend I was actually getting into it and doing it. Glue gun. I actually found these really cool sticky tabs that will hold that in. But man, if you put that sticky tab in wrong, you see those roots at the bottom? There's roots all through this candle. Not an overabundance, because I don't want you to set your house on fire. And then we have to trust our vendors. I had a vendor here. It was fun. We did have a great time. I had a vendor here that sold me the wrong type of wax for these glass jars. And I sent it to a client, and the damn thing just went crazy. It burned the label on the outside. He knew he was wrong. If that person had burned down their house, he'd have been liable. Because he gave us a whole box of the right wax. I went in there, told him what I needed, and he still gave us the same soft-ass wax. You know it. So I've spent countless hours on the phone with different wax vendors, finding out what their products are, finding out even what questions to ask, okay? And what's very interesting is I think that a lot of us, especially when it comes to root work or anything that's, good evening, Christine, anything that seems to be popular, that seems to be low magic, I think a lot of us think, oh, I'm going to open a business and I'm going to throw some roots together and I'm going to sell some baths. But y'all have seen some classics of examples of fuckery out here of things that you probably shouldn't be doing or selling. So, you have to be real when you're holding somebody's, not just their, their personal lives, when, they're burning candles and stuff like that, and I do stress candle safety because any candle can malfunction. I don't care if you bought it at Yankee or wherever else. If you don't have a fireplace, you need to be burning candles in metal containers that are out of the reach of children and pets, away from curtains and other places where it could combust. But you're holding somebody's spiritual life in your hands, which means if you don't construct this candle right, then that person could have a read that's not correct and be all panicked and thinking they're cursed when really it is just a fucked candle. So yeah, this is what it takes. So this is why I'm like less than happy about people asking questions like that are all right there on the website. We spend a lot of time talking about the formulations, even the names. I'm not really concerned if non-Black people understand what the products do. That's not my audience. But I use terms from the Black vernacular that everybody should know. I'm shocked how many people don't understand what grip sack means. My family been saying that for years, and the people around me, you got your grip? Because you grip your suitcase. And that's safe travel. But even that, I've got the translations on the website. And so I'm just having a day, y'all. I'm tired. I want to do the best I can for you. And this is still a very small scale type of production environment, and it will never get to the point where you have to understand places where your colors are consistent and the candles can just be popped out, boom, boom, boom. Those are machines. They're pressing a few buttons, it sticks in the wick, it loads it, and even then, sometimes they don't do it right. So, you really have to understand what some of this stuff takes. And I say this to people who are customers, as well as, and then what something's worth, because sometimes people are charging. I saw on eBay, somebody was selling some plain ass green taper candles, talking about some magical candles. They were like $50 each, it's not personal when a machine is making what you're getting, but this person was selling some bogus ass, and I learned that from my mentors early on. You gonna sell somebody some dollar store candles, talking about they're magical for $20 a piece? Come on now. So, I think there is a very hard line between quality, cost, looking at your ROI and how much you're spending and how much you're charging, and, automation. And that's never been my thing. So, please, and I know it's impossible to reach every single client with this venue or Instagram or whatever, but the information is there. The information is that it is going to take 5 to 10 business days, and it may start being longer, okay? Depending on the complexity of the product. Which boxes, okay? They're at least 10 days off the bat. It takes time. We're not going to sit up and bag up these roots prematurely. We might have the contents for 3 or 4 witch boxes on hand any given day. Okay? $30 High John candles. Well, it would depend on what they look like. Because High John is expensive, especially if you're buying it cut. If they're putting the herbs or roots in it, and if they're pouring it, I can see $30 for a candle. But if somebody is selling you a plain white candle with some High John oil, be for real. Be fucking for real. I know people that sell dram oils for $25, and ours are under $20, or maybe around 21 at this point, and we give you a whole half ounce. It boggles the mind what people will pay for magic, but what we ain't gonna do here today is harass people who take the time and make real good quality products, and I know a lot of you do. And I've taught a lot of you too. I got some standards, and I plan on keeping those standards. Y'all ain't gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna stop answering the phone. But if you do email me, make sure you include your order number so I can just shoot you off a message and answer your question. I'm gonna get back to work. I'm just sitting here. I'm starving, waiting for some cheap Chinese food and taking a breather. But I got to get back to these candles because I got to blow them back down, clean them up, and get them out. So understand that a hand-poured candle is just that. It's going to be like rustic. All the colors aren't going to be perfect. It's not all going to look the same as the last one you got. They're individually made. There is nowhere in this damn house do I have a candle making machine. They actually make them too. And it's like, for like the home crafter and stuff. Not for the stuff we doing. There's nothing that makes candles like these for what we're doing. You know, we even hand grind the red brick dust. You know how many grinders I've killed? Because when you order from a brick manufacturer, the red brick, it doesn't come in powder. And I'm going to see if I can source that powdered from maybe a magical supplier that I use. It has to be ground. And I've killed like 3 grinders. And, you know, these are the costs of doing business. It's like an adventure for me. I really enjoy finding new ways to do things. But at the same time, you know, there's a store in New York City where they're making pillars and they're beautiful. They're, you know, super decorated, carved, bevets, all that good stuff, you know. And I don't use glitter, but I might get to the point where I'm using mica and carving candles and doing that good stuff. But I think the candles start at $40. You know, and I can't even get to the stuff in my drawer of dreams or my box of molds because I'm trying to make sure before I offer you another product that, you know what goes into it. I know what goes into it because I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? Especially making those votives and getting the votives out of the molds that we use. You know, like the molds that we use, and I bought a whole bunch of these regrettably on eBay. I like these because they're more like the traditional spiritual candles because when it has a domed top, it melts outward, which will seal your jar. If you go on the candle suppliers' websites today, they sell your concave, like, you know, cup votives, and those don't melt out as well for spell work. It's not good for that. But, you know, we've tried release spray and pliers and everything else like that. So I got a different mold that's domed and we're going to try that. But that mold was $45 and it makes 4 candles. So yeah, some days I think, what the hell did I get myself into? I ask myself that every day. But this is my life's work. This is my mission. These, you know, I want us all to be more in tune spiritually with the workings that have evolved here from Africa. I want us to be the best spiritual workers we can be. So in order for us to do that, I got to sell you some good shit, right? So just wanted you to get an idea of what it takes to, you know, I really did. I really just thought it was porcelain wax. Put it in the, no. I come back a half an hour later and half the wax has sunk down and I got to pour more. And then I got to match the color. That's hard. So, you know, I just want to give you a peek at my world today. I didn't have a good day. And, you know, the questions that, and we have a customer group. I'm going to say this again. We have a customer group. Search for Big Liz Conjure. Big Liz Conjure Corner is the business page. Big Liz Conjure is the customer group. And you can ask all kinds of questions there all day long. What I can say about my customers is y'all is loyal and knowledgeable. Once y'all start getting into this, you know what the hell you're doing. And they give excellent advice. Probably better than you going to find in some of these Facebook groups. But the limitation is it's limited to my products. Now, if you want to, Amina's on, Kia. Want to say hi to Amina? No. Say hi. One of Rikia's friends is on there. To tag Rikia, yes. Okay. So anyways, so, you know, it's a lot of this. And I think that nobody should be scared to try a new business or try a new product or go into business for themselves. But R&D is important. And appropriate pricing is important because you don't want to be overpricing customers, but at the same time, you don't want to sell yourself short. When I see these people online talking about some $10 readings, I don't even understand. I really don't. But to each his own. My reading is going to remain $95 and up, maybe even more as the years go on because divination, that's why I took the break during the month of October. And Lord, it did a body good. It's taxing. I have clients who are definitely going through some really emotional issues. Sometimes you even have to cleanse after. You definitely have to cleanse your tools yourself, though, after working with a client. Because life is shit sometimes for people. So, be nice to your spiritual worker. Don't piss your spiritual worker off. Do your due diligence if you think there's a problem with your order. We don't offer rush orders. We don't do rush shipping. What we do is if we see that we have an oil or something on hand, if it's just an oil, we get it out fairly quickly. But y'all be doing the most. And you want it quickly because you realize there's some very important spell work that you will need to do. So what I would suggest is that you plan ahead. We have a full line of fixed candles, but we also have a full line of plain candles, chime candles, votive candles that are unfixed, and if you want to get your work done quickly and you want that type of stuff that's easy for us, and we can, in the working roots, that's why I put the working roots on sale. You can buy all of that and do the work. But when you want stuff that has the roots already in it, or oils, colognes, waters, any of those things, they take time. I'm always amazed when I go in some of these drawers and there's things that I had meant to list on the website, but I didn't have time to do them. And I'm working on making sure that that's not happening, because there's no use in buying things you're not selling. But it takes time to learn how to do this work, and it takes time to learn how to make really good quality products. And I've done oil exchanges with a lot of root workers, and it never fails. I get their oils and they don't have any roots in them. And I'd be like, this is, what? Root work? It takes time to make formulations. You want to make them on the right day of the week. Sometimes there's certain moon phases you don't want to be making nothing in. So we make extra. We don't want to make prosperity herbs during a waning moon. Those are things you really have to pay attention to. But at the same time, you have to have a balance so that it's not taking you so long to get your clients out, your products out, that they shut. So I got a phone call. It's probably my food delivery, and he's probably at the wrong place. So I'm going to let you guys go and call them right back. You guys take care. Bye-bye.